people on. I'm basically family at this point. Sydney Swift, one of the most legendary music producers to ever walk this earth. You can see the records on the wall behind him. He's also incredibly in tune with what is happening, not only in the music side of Web3, but also what is happening on the AI side of things in Web3. He could talk a lot about his vibe coding journey and his experience taking his ideas from just an idea in his head and putting that to a computer screen or server near you. But Sydney, I'm so glad to have you on the show today and chat. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. I got my license today, so I can drive officially. And bro, I was so close of failing it because the first thing they do is give you the parallel parking one, and they give you 3 tries, and it took me 2 tries because the first time I fucked it up. So but we passed and we're good.
The context here is that it's not like you're just turning 18. Like this is it's a longer story here. I'm glad. Okay, I'm glad you got your driver's license. You're back on the road. It's too funny. Too funny. I met Sydney back when we were both living in LA. Back in like what 2022 record plant 2 a.m. to 5 a.m. every single night, music. We had crazy people rolling through the studio. I mean, we had like Nicki Minaj next door at one point. We had like crazy people rolling through during that period. But that's originally how you and I met.
Yeah. Fucking Migos tried to charge us 10 grand for a walkthrough. Remember that?
Yeah, I think there was at one point a mariachi band that came through.
Band, Zach Brother mariachi.
Yeah, awesome. You had NSYNC down the hall recording their album at the same time too. I mean, it was just, and then because to me this whole experience of like being in record plant and being in a real studio of real artists. I was like, this is cool, but it didn't like dawn on me until the Kanye West documentary came out, and they were like making this big deal about how big like record plant was and how like record plant was like the birthplace of all this music. And I was like, bro, I was playing beer pong in there a couple weeks ago. Like,
oh, I know that, Mike. I know where that is. That's funny.
Yeah, that's originally how we met. And then through the ups and downs of life, we've become closer and closer. And I consider you family at this point. And there's so much that I think you've been able to experience and see through your career as a musician, and also having this absolute gravitation to the world of technology and wanting to implement that and bring that into the music world, but also you having kind of a really good insight into like how you can apply that in other industries as well.
Dude, I'm so excited to get into it. And also, I did a deep dive on Recoup for you last night in preparation for this, and so I'm so excited to show you some like little new features and updates. And I want to get your take on that because I have some really interesting. I found some insights.
We'll have to dive into that. I think we can show that on screen as well if you want to.
Oh yeah.
I think the best place to start here is maybe a little bit more about you intro, and then let's kind of talk about the world of Web3 and AI and how you're seeing them and what your big theses are against how they'll be used and how you're positioning yourself with those.
I'll give you the quick intro about me. Was in the music industry, started off as an intern back in like 2010-ish. Worked my way up to producer, working with like a bunch of big artists. And then from there, got a label deal with Atlantic to do a virtual artist. That was the Chill Pill project, which then eventually became the Chiller X project, which is where we met at Record Plant when we were working on the community album. And then worked on that for the 2 years, which then turned into Creators, which then kind of turned into Recupa, what we're working on now. And like through it all, it's just been kind of like navigating the world of being a creative and then leveraging the newest tech at the time to enhance my ability as a creative, or the people that I'm working with, like, and those creatives. So it's just, I'm heavy into helping creatives do more of what they love and less of what they hate, because I was in that boat for a long time.
The music industry is one that gets a huge target painted on its back as being one where the creatives don't have all the power in their hands, and they don't have all the tools in their hands. And I feel like that has been a driving, kind of like pain point and factor of like, you're like, hey, if you're an artist, you shouldn't have to rely on a label writing you this deal. Like, there are tools, or we'll build you tools that allow you to do a marketing campaign without that capital and that infra. We'll build you the tools to connect. We'll build you the tools to find a writer or a musician to make that beat for you. Um, the music industry is a very, very fragmented. It's very, ivory wall of, oh, you're on the outside. You have to sign this deal to get any of that. Um, and I think AI and Web3 combined make it so that we don't have that issue going forward, or quite as much of an issue going forward.
Yeah, I agree. I think that the industry is about to do a 180. All industries about to do a 180, but yeah, music in particular, I can just like, I can see a world in which every musician can make a living doing what they love if they adopt the tools and put in that work. Uh, so I'm really excited for that future, and I also think that like, yeah, the whole thing's gonna shift, man. Like, with AI being able to do a lot of the knowledge work, and then blockchain enabling like instant payments, like, the old world is gatekeepy, takes you 9 months to get paid. You don't even know if you're tracking correctly, and you need a team of 400 people to like help you get to the next level of your career. And the future world is you push a button and make a song, and then push another button and promote it, and get paid immediately for people having attention on that song. And I think that's a beautiful place to be.
I could not agree more. Um, Now, with that said, Recoupable, which is your current version of that dream, you showed me while I was over at your place last weekend. Um, let's dive into exactly what you're building, because I think that opens up a lot of the conversation for other kind of like ideas and themes for the music industry. But again, also, you were showing me it, and I was like, oh, well, I could use this for launching a software company. I could use this for like, it is taking away all this work that I would have to do. I don't want to have to deal with Facebook Ad Manager. I don't want to have to deal with like reading through 100 of my tweets to figure out who my favorite, what my segments look like. What is Recoupable?
Recoupable is an AI agent platform for creators to help them augment their daily work so that they can do more of what they love and put the rest on AI. So if you think from like a musician's perspective, if you love performing live, then Recoup will help you do everything else. If you're a podcaster and you like to be interviewing, Recoup will help you do everything else, from finding the right guests to booking to, cultivating an audience. Like, all of the work of the team around the creative, we're trying to abstract that away so that the creative, they talk a lot about like, over the next year or two or three, the first, one person $1 billion company will be created with AI.
Yep.
And I feel the same way with creators. Like, we're going to see so many more $100 million creators, musicians, artists, influencer brand, like single person brands that don't need or require a team to hit that like next stage up, where they're really able to scale their businesses.
Right. Yeah, I always think back to, if anybody's watched or if you've watched Billions, there's like a part in that show where they ask like, how does Axe do meetings? And they're like, he's like they form around him, like he just walks in meetings, like everything just happens, and he's a area ship. That's how I think about the future. And this is the first vision that came into my head when you were showing me what you're building, which was, okay, I'm just operating. I'm like, oh, I need a guest for tomorrow. And it just, AI understands, hey, you have an open slot for your 2 o'clock show on Friday. We have a list. We'll reach out. When we find the right person, we'll book it. If somebody double books, then we'll move them to the next, like it just happens. And the promotion for like the thumbnail, the tweet that goes out announcing that, like it just happens. There's no reason for me to have to do all that. I already know what I want. There's a pattern of that established. And that's not a heavy lift for AI. The kind of like event list and like flow of that is where we're kind of missing. And I can see that in what you're building. And that, again, you've kind of shifted this directly at musicians originally, but I think it could be such a crazy, crazy thing of, well, your job, all the ancillary things around it get automated.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that like, focusing on musicians, one allows me to tweak the product in like a dimension that I truly know musicians. So I'm
Right.
able to like do evaluations on the outputs a lot quicker and iterate a lot more. And music is an interesting frame of reference because it's cool. And it requires that level of understanding the ambiguity of coolness that a lot of other industries don't follow, right? So, like, what makes an artist cool? Effortless. Like, artists have this way of engaging and building a following that is not typical to normal brands. And I think a lot of the AI companies right now, and customer experience companies and sales like they're all using agents in like from this corporate business perspective of like, how do I manage this like corporate workflow of like lead to customer, like the whole thing. And there's 1,000 of those, but the music industry is so nuanced because fans aren't technically bought, like the sales pipeline isn't go buy this thing. It's connect with me emotionally, and eventually you'll buy eventually. But like, I'm more concerned with like bringing you into my world, which is like from a creator's standpoint, like that's what all brand building is at the end of the day, right? Like how much can you get somebody invested in your brand with like, for free, pretty much. So basically starting there allows me to like get really specific on how the agent thinks, speaks, the nuances of like, if I was a music manager, I wouldn't send an email like that sounds corporate-y. I would like send it like almost like a friend,
Yeah.
with no like no structure. And so thinking through like making the agent feel like it's like knows how to navigate like through like vibes and like knows how to like connect the dots and talk to the people in that industry correctly. It makes it so much easier when you're using the tool to go book your next guest. It's not good. You're like, yo, go book me a guest, and it's gonna come and be like, yo, bro, your shit's dope. Like, and build the relationship.
Or it goes, it's grabbing my Twitter, and because I have, a first name, last name, it's not going, hi, Orel, would like to book you for like, I know when a bot DMs me.
Exactly.
I think anybody can open their DMs, and I'm like, all right, if it starts with hey, just ignore it. It's a bot.
Yeah.
Like that is 99.99% of the time, every bot message starts with hey. Or it's just Hunter Orwell exactly as it's written on. You can tell. I think that's like the big leap that we're kind of missing in AI stuff is, does it feel like a real person? Are you at that point of like, is that AI or is that real? The crazy thing is video, like VO3 from Gemini and Google. I look at some of those videos that it's outputting. I'm like, I don't know if that's real or not. Video has me more confused than like an email from AI. I can tell right away. Which is like you would have thought, okay, it's way easy to get like very, very convincing emails from AI done, but it isn't, apparently.
I mean, it is if you train it, like, and that's the whole key. I think that's what separates Recoup right now from a lot of like the general purpose AIs. One is like our back end prompting across the board is very nuanced to creators and more of like that kind of the industry. And then the second thing is like before you even start in Recoup, it does like a general data scrape on you or the artist you're working with or the creator you're working with, and so setting up the AI off the rip before you even interact, not having to explain yourself, unlocks a level of trust with the AI that like I don't get from ChatGPT until I work with ChatGPT to train it to be like oh, this is how I want to talk. This is me. This is who like, which takes a long fucking time, especially as time progresses. So it's like, those two things kind of off rip allow the AI to know, when you send a message, like don't say X, don't say Y, don't say, like, I don't use these words. This is how I speak in all lowercase, the whole thing, and so like getting it closer to like how you would react and interact. And then also like not jumping the gun on what you're trying to get. I think like a lot of like tools currently are, like you said, like send a DM, but immediately ask, hey, here's what I want out of you. Whereas like a smart human who's in it for the long game would hit up Hunter and be like, hey, and that's it. And you'd be like, hi. And then the next message would be like, bro, what's up? And then maybe a week later, and like build relationship building until like, and so getting an AI
Yeah.
to understand that part, I think that's a huge unlock too for the next level of this stuff. Because then it becomes a teammate and not like, just like a task follower, so to speak.
Right. The training data, RAG, all of these little things that it takes understanding. I think ChatGPT is 98% of people's understanding of AI. Then you have the people that got introduced to, and I have to shout out Shaw here because I think he pushed a lot of people to understand or to learn if they wanted to know more about the token that they were trading back in, the AI hype of this. But hey, what is RAG? Why all of a sudden is all this information in context important? What system prompts? Why are those important? Dynamic data inflow, context around certain people, and how do you segment that? There is so much more to this piece of technology that's hyper complex that a lot of people just still don't understand. I feel like you were thrown into like the fire pit here of you aren't a system or a software engineer background. You have to kind of go the vibe codey way. You have to teach yourself a lot of this. Um, for somebody who is coming from a music industry background and now into the software development side of things, what was your like vibe coding and I guess like learning curve like for a lot of this?
It's a great question. So I'd say like right around 2017, 2018, when we started the Chill Pill project with Atlantic, um, I brought on a bunch of developers to help with that project because it was a virtual influencer. And so we needed like motion capture and games and things like that. Like, and so through that, I was like almost like project managing the development stages, throughout the last 5-10 years. But I'd say in like 20, maybe last year or the start of last year. I don't know, like GPT-4 ish, is when I was like, you know what, fuck this. Like, I'm just gonna start building this shit myself. Like, what am I doing? And this was before Cursor. So it was even like it was even like a bigger hurdle, but I think that it also helped me because like it forced function me to like learn a little bit more than like just like hands off the wheel cursor agent. But basically what I did was like I just like would go into ChatGPT at the time and be like, I want to build this to X tool. And then I would take that code and go put it in VS Code at the time. And then I would screenshot VS Code and drop it back into ChatGPT and then say, now what? And then it would write and then I would, and it was just me going back and forth, and it just took me like choosing a couple projects, like mini projects that I wanted to build to like start to understand the pipelines and, what is GitHub, like what is a commit, like all of that shit. And so it took like a good, like me just like, you just have to, it's kind of like, it's like anything. You got to just like go and do it in order to learn it.
It's like learning to drive.
Yeah, exactly. You just got to just drive. Fuck it. Exactly. Exactly. But yeah, it just took a little bit of time. And then like, I mean, I still like don't know everything, and I luckily like what's helped me is having like engineering friends who I can like be like, bro, I keep hitting this wall. What do I do? And then like they help. But yeah, man, it's just been like literally just using the tools to just build shit and then see what happens. And like, I mean, like you said, shout out Shaw, man, because like open sourcing his tool like helped me dive in and be like, all right, cool, this is how like their frameworks are going, all the open source shit. So
Yeah,
that's a huge unlock, is just like going find open source tools, opening them in Cursor, and then being like, explain to me how this project works, like what does it do, like, and then just diving into the code base yourself. But yeah, man, it's been fucking bro, it's crazy to me. Like, you're so right where you said like 98% of the world ChatGPTs is like the version of AI that people know. And then like even when you go a step further, like 98% of those people probably aren't prompting as much as they should or could. And so it just has become this like, there's like a lot to go in terms of like user adoption. But I think that like, yeah, man, the world's about to get crazy.
What is your Google versus ChatGPT ratio? Like for me, I maybe Google 1 out of every 50, 60 times versus ChatGPT, like using AI to like search for something.
I would say I'm 99%.
Wow.
I even have the ChatGPT installed on Chrome so that even when I go to search for Google, it opens up ChatGPT instead.
Google hated that when that came out. They were like, damn.
Like, and literally I use it for everything. And like, I'm trying to think the only other, like the only time that I bypass to go to Google is if like I specifically know I need to go to a web page to like perform an action. Like,
Correct.
I'll give you the last
Exactly.
time I was doing it was like Expedia. I was booking a flight. And so I went to go to type in my search bar Expedia, but then I hit enter and then it opened up ChatGPT because that's like the flow I have. And I was like, oh no, I need to actually go to the Expedia website.
Yeah, no, I wanted to go to a certain website for cars, and I was like, I initially was like, for some, I'm like, my head is go to chat GPT if you're looking for like a list of things or result, unless it is again a very specific, I know exactly what I want, I don't need to wait 30 seconds for a list of things, just show me.
Yeah.
And that was a weird moment for me being like, damn, like I don't even use the Google search. I just use like Chrome's like search, like I just type it in and wherever I land I go. But I feel like we're getting further and further away from relying on search and then AI just being baked into more things. Do you think that people that are musicians should go build their own stuff, or should they look for products, or is that like barrier to entry just getting so washed away that anybody can go and build their own things, or do we have like a little bit longer of a wait in your eyes before like you would recommend like, oh, like you want this thing to like help you launch a record, go just chat GP, like, prompt it.
It's a good question. I think that's a great question. I think we have a ways to go, but that's not to say that I think that musicians or creators should start today building the things that they want to build. I also think that like it's a very clear sign for when you do choose tools, like if you're going to go sign up for a new CRM or a new whatever the fuck it is, and choosing these tools, I think it's very clear it's noticeable when it's an AI, like an AI first or like an AI native build versus it's like a older product that like is trying to add AI into the shit. And I would suggest creators lean towards the AI native stuff because the shit is moving so quickly that like all of the legacy stuff is going to get caught in like this niche old world, like, and I think the future is modular, and I think the future is like abstracting the UI and platform away where like I should be able to like right now, well, one, Recoup should be listening to this conversation and then saving it into my knowledge base and your knowledge base so it has context for later. Two is I should be able to be as easy as like, hey, go launch a game for this podcast and like let it go do its thing. So then after the podcast, like we can go get, like I don't even want to see UI unless I'm like, hey, can you create a dashboard for me to understand the metrics of the X or Y, like, and then I get a dashboard. But like, I feel like AI, people are scared of AI, but really what's going to happen is we're going to get more human in the process because we're not going to need screens as much because the AI will be doing everything for us.
Right. That's the first time I've heard this take that we become more human, more connected. There's less of a screen barrier. Have not heard that before.
I mean, think about it. If you don't need to go to a platform, like why are you going to, like, you're not going to go. And then if you think about it from that perspective, then like you're going to spend less time online, which means you're going to find yourself less doom scrolling, and so like, so slowly you're just not going to be as addicted to the current state of thing. I mean, yeah, I think if you,
is the counter to that though, that with more of your information in context to AI and with the generation of video, you can get more curated, more addictive things online to keep you on a service. Like I just think about Vio. Like Vio knows all, like if it had all this context, it could show me things that keep me captivated for an hour.
Yeah, or you can create your own, or you can create like that's the thing. Like what I guess you're right. It goes back to like what do you love doing? Like,
right.
What do you love spending your time doing? If you love consuming content, then like, yeah, you're going to find yourself in an endless content scroll of exactly what you want to see. But if you love doing podcasts, then you're going to be able to spend a lot more time doing those. If you love designing, like the content, like, so yeah, I just think it's just, we're going to get a lot more time to do what we love in the future. And I think that's really exciting.
I hope you're right. I can only hope you're right. Now,
I think the interesting part is a lot of people don't know what they love. And so that I think is a key where like, if figuring that part out now, like, because like a lot of people, like especially people who have 9 to 5s and like have found themselves like in this day in, day out. This is my job. This is what I do every day. It's like, what do you love to do if you didn't need to do all of that? What would you do all day? How would you monetize that all day? And so I think that's like a very like, all right, I just spend time with my family. Okay, cool. AI, I'm going to spend a lot of time with my family. Can you please help me monetize it? Okay, cool. It's going to go out and create the education content and accept and like do everything for you. And you're just gonna be able to spend time with your kids. Like, so like figuring that part out is what do you love doing? Like, what do you want to spend your time doing? I think that's the most important question of the next 10 years.
I agree that, and this kind of loops all the way back. And I would love to show what you're building because as an artist, and there's a good Eminem interview that I saw, I mean, maybe like a day or two ago, but he was talking about what he thought being a rapper was. Like he thought it was just rapping, writing music, and wearing chains, and getting all the pretty girls. And then he's like, nah, like it's like you're on a radio show at 9 a.m. and then you're at a signing thing, and then you gotta go and write, and then you gotta go like listen to a whole bunch of beats for like 4 hours and figure out like which ones you like. And then he's like, it's a job, but like you don't get a day off. Like at least people that work a 9 to 5 get time off. And I think for a lot of artists, they enter the game, they absolutely love the early days of it. They might see some success, and then they realize like, well, this isn't what I wanted to do. And unless you get to the like pico top where all of that's just the label's like, don't you worry, we got you. You end up having to deal with 95% of the things in your world that you're like, I don't want to do this. I don't want to care about it. I just want it done. And Recoupable is making the first stride at doing that for artists right now, where if you are launching a new song and trying to go to market it, it can absolutely take a ton of that weight off of your shoulders, for going to market and understanding your segments, understanding your go to market strategy, and so much more that you have planned down the road as well.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, man. And I saw that Eminem clip. It's so true. It's like, and I think at every stage of anybody's career or life, like you all, I had a friend once, and we were sitting at the Inside Capitol Music, like the tower in LA, and in the tower there's like a studio at the top, and he was sitting there and he was looking out the window and he was like, man, like when we were like working on like at some artist's album, and we were like, man, we just got to get this next cut, like we got to make it happen. And he like looked out the window for a second. This always stuck with me to this moment. Is he looked and he said, man, it was just last year that I was sitting on that curb wondering how I was going to get in here, and now we're sitting in here wondering how we're going to get this album. And it's like, you're always like, nobody's ever content. They're going to get to a place, and then they're going to be like, man, I want to do more. And then more comes with more shit that you didn't want to do and all that, And so I think like, yeah, you're right. It's like, it's always going to be like that. Like every stage of the way, like, how do you do more of what you love? Less of the shit that you don't care about.
AI. I hope.
Are you able? And all on chain.
All on chain.
All on chain. I think that's the it's funny. Like a lot of people forget that part, and I think that's one of the core features that people are not talking about enough. Is like, what does the world look like when all this happens? And like blockchain solves a lot of the infrastructure issues when it comes to like just the value exchanging portion of that,
because there's that trustless side to it. Like when there's a value exchange, you don't have to be like, well, maybe like I lose it when I found out about like songwriters. That value exchange is like, well, you might get your cut, and actually, we're only going to pay you this much, and it's going to take 2 years to get it.
Yeah.
Where now with the value exchange of blockchain, you're like, all right, I have this data. If you want to use this data, we could do a value exchange, but instantaneously they're like, you getting access to this data, there's a currency exchange or a token exchange, and I get it. And when that stops, you stop paying me, or like it's trustless. It's in permission. The permission stuff that we can set up for that expands it so much more. And obviously there's its own issues within that from like an infra standpoint, but it does open up this whole new world of how do you make money or what is valuable. There's so much like information about you that you are just getting like drained of, and you're not getting any value from using websites. Uh, that all of a sudden in this new world, like signing up and using a certain protocol that holds and uses your personal information is like, yeah, we are going to sell it, but you're going to get money, and if you're cool with that, wonderful. I can see that coming down the road at some point.
Yeah, and the whole idea of like agent to agent, in the whole world is going towards agent to agent transactions and interactions. Meaning the only okay, I'm an artist and I sign a 360 deal with a record label, right? If that deal is not on chain, then like in the future, as my agent moves through the world to collect money, to this and that, and then distribute it back to me, like it needs a central source of truth for like the distribution of the value and the data. And it's so easy to recreate fakes now. Like the only way to verify like the actual transactions, the history, like the receipts and the deals, the contract, it all has to be on chain. Like if it's not, then there's no, I can easily go and upload a fake contract to the back end of, like wherever, and then what, my deal changes. Like I could just tell the agent, oh no, I renegotiated. Like I actually now get 100% instead of 80. Like so, it's all of that shit is gonna come. Like yeah, all that's gonna be so important for like the infrastructure of how the new world plays out, right? If I go do it really any transactions, any kind of contractual things, all of that's just going to need to be on chain.
Yeah, I feel like check the chain is gonna become like a phrase that we like becomes more. It's like nah, like that happened. Like check
Yeah,
the chain. Um, and I think the abstraction of this might not get that exact phrase, but that kind of like methodology of thinking will exist more of like, no, that's like verifiable. Um, and we kind of saw that like in the gaming world with like replays and like stats and like certain things kind of becoming more like available and like, no, it did happen. Um, and I think that clicked in a lot of people's brains of, oh, like having access to this information, being able to prove it is important and that humans value that. Um, but there is a literal consensus way of doing that, and it's called the blockchain.
yeah, 1000%.
Are you able to show recoupable? Share your screen. I think if you hit the little arrow up computer screen linking button, you can share screen. I can pop it up in here.
No, but I want you to share.
Oh, okay. Wait, I can do this.
I want you to run it because then I can also at the same time get user feedback. So
Wait.
it's a win-win.
Wait, I have to. What's the URL?
Recoupable.com.
Oh, okay. Well, that helps. Okay, recoupable.com. I need to log in. Bear with me while we do this I'm not on my Mac, so I have to go through the whole login process real quick. I'm going super quickly here.
Do you stream on a different computer?
I just started.
You have a streaming setup? This is so professional.
Damn, I'm getting exposed on stream today. Let me see. Give me 1 second. Man, this is on me.
No, I mean,
this is my Gmail is restarting. I don't know what's going on. Here we go.
Should have just done it.
No, you're good. You're good. Okay. I think we're in. And I can share this. Okay. Barring technical difficulties here. Chrome tab. Okay.
Fire. We're in.
We are in. All right. So we actually did this last weekend where we created my artist. I go up here, I can select Hunter Orel.
Yeah. And so if you click those three dots,
Yes.
when we scraped your artist, we have an agent run and do everything. Like I said, pull all your shit. So if you click the about hunterorel.txt, that's like the summary of everything that we've scraped.
Bro.
And so you can go through. I can't see it. You're not sharing that.
Oh. Okay. Yeah. No. Like I need people to understand. Like it's not small.
And like you can like go through it and see like, all right, cool. This is everything it's collected on you.
What the undiscovered subcultures and affinity groups beyond obvious crypto bros and NFT. Damn. I mean, this is so interesting. Yeah, so this is like literally it's going through finding all of like, look, it has like who I talk to on like a daily basis. Wow. Okay. Super interesting. Let me go back to our original tab.
So we have all of your info. It knows you. It knows what you're trying to do. So press X on that. And then to the left, if you scroll, yep, and then go to the agents tab. All right, I just added 2 new agents specifically for you. Go to outreach. Filter it by outreach.
Oh, okay.
All right. Podcast guest acquisition. This one I added for you. This is the first time I'm trying it. I haven't tested it, so we'll see.
This is a real live demo. I like this.
This is a live as fuck. I also
so I just clicked this. It says find 10 creators in unexpected niches, glitch fashion, gaming modders, TikTok historians, etc. Draft a personalized email inviting them to be a guest on my podcast or for their work, explain why the collaboration makes sense, and suggest a creative topic idea for the episode. Then send an email and CC me. Repeat until 10 guests have been sent. Emails have been sent. Wait, will this actually send emails?
It will.
Wait, no way.
We just launched this feature like 2 days ago. So it will actually find their email addresses, draft the email, and send the email and CC you.
Wait, it has my email?
I hope so.
This is the most live demo I've
this
ever
is live
seen.
as fuck. This is super live. But like, and we can tweak it live because I want to see if it works and what it does. But this is literally how we're doing our evals too. It's like running these agents and then being like, okay, here's where it fucked up. I wish it would have done X. And then
right.
And then, all right, here's where it fucked up.
Okay, so it started this. It's finding the creators in the unexpected niches, using Perplexity. It's researching potential creators. It has the information. It's trying to be more specific on its approach to finding these creators. Now it's continue researching to find more detailed information and potential contact methods for those creators. And the great thing about this is I could literally stand up right now, grab a beer out of my fridge and go tan outside if it wasn't raining here in Maryland. But I literally could just go do another thing right now. And this is still happening in the background. And I could potentially just come back to being like, okay, next week is booked out. I don't have to worry about reaching out and DMing people, asking guests to refer other people. Like it's just done.
And that's an interesting point that you said too. Because like something that I was thinking through is like setting up runs automatically. So like tweaking this agent so that if this is like a task you would want to do weekly, daily, like having it auto run. So every day at 9 o'clock, it scrapes 10 more people. It sends them the emails. It follows up with them. Like, so it's constant. Like you don't even have to have this open or ever come back to it unless you want to tweak it, but it'll just in perpetuity, just like be your guest podcast, booker.
Yeah, I would pay money for this.
And this is just one agent.
Okay, wait. Now it's moving quick now. Okay. Now live information on several creators and unique niches. I'll draft personalized email invitations for 10 of them. Gentry Stein.
A yo-yo champion. Let's fucking go.
Yeah, I would have him on. Yeah,
Hell
100%.
yeah. What's the email say?
Okay. Hi, Gentry. I'm Hunter Orell, a Web3 entrepreneur and host of the Morning Mint podcast, where we explore the future of technology, culture, and digital innovation, your journey as a world yo-yo champion, and your ability to transform a physical skill into compelling digital content caught my attention. The way you've built a community around your craft reminds me of how Web3 communities form around shared passions. I'd love to have you on as a guest on my podcast to discuss fascinating parallels between mastering a physical skill, building digital communities. We could explore topics like how specialized skills create passionate micro communities online, the evolution of yo yo culture in the digital age, your experience turning physical performance into shareable digital content. Your perspective would bring a refreshing angle to our conversations about digital culture and community building. Would you be interested in joining me?
Yeah. Fire. Yeah,
Regards,
my
Hunterell, founder
initial,
of Future Proof. And yeah, I mean,
I mean, it's dope. My initial thought is like, okay, cool. We got to go tweak the email
yeah,
prompt so that it like is shorter. It like gets to the point more. It tells more about like why this would value them, uh, which is not hard. Like it's just tweaking that. But it's found a biohacker.
okay, so yeah, I'll go through this. So first one was a yo-yo champion. We have a augmented reality artist, a biohacker, a speculative fiction author, an AI artist, digital minimalism, digital fashion house, virtual architect, digital fashion designer. Oh, I know Will. This
There you go.
Whoop founder. Um,
The agent stopped there. It didn't send it. Let me see.
okay, so it got all these people. Nice. Since I don't have the capacity to directly send these emails, here's what I recommend: review
All right,
these email templates.
wait. Tell it.
Listen, motherfucker, send the emails.
Yeah, say it. Say send the email.
No, send the emails. You can do it.
Yeah, this is what we got to tweak.
Oh, it doesn't look like it has my email. Make sure to CC yourself. I apologize for the confusion. I don't actually have the capacity to send the emails to these creators.
Tools available. We don't wait. Wait. So all right. This is a good. This is a perfect example. Say, use your email send tool.
To complete
The task.
these contacts.
Yeah.
My email is. There you go.
Let's see what it does. This is a great love demos live.
A live demo. Okay. Also, this to like bring this all back to like prompting. It's such a like important skill to understand that you need to like go and like touch these things and try them and like understand where the barriers are, how you can get around like a roadblock like this. Oh, I just got an email. I got an email from hi@recoupable.com. Sample creator outreach email podcast information. Hi, Hunter. This is a sample of how the outreach emails would appear when sent through the Recoupable system. Blows the template for Gent. This is so sick. It literally just sent me. So for the yo-yo guy for Gentry, it sent me what that email will come through like for formatting. I'm sorry I can't bring this on the screen, but or at least closer. I've sent you a sample email.
Wait, do me a favor. All right, fuck this. We're gonna keep doing this until we get this right. Tell it to find one creator's email. If you can't find the email of the list that you have, research and find the email of a creator that would work.
Okay.
Because it seems like it missed
creators. Okay, let's see if that works. So I just asked it to find one of these creators' emails. Then if they can't find, do the research and then CC me. Okay, Let's see what happens. Also, while it's doing that, let's just talk through this. So, again, we went and created my personal information. We actually literally just gave it, I think, my Twitter, or not even. Like, I think we just searched like do it for Hunter Orel, and it went in and found everything about me.
Yeah.
And then what we've done is we've gone to agents. This is using the podcast outreach agent. And you made a second one, which we'll go look at as well for me.
Nice. It found the email.
Okay. So it got Elliot Pepper or Peeper. Who is Elliot? Wait, which one is Elliot? Is Elliot on this list? Elliot is the speculative fiction author, exploring tomorrow's digital society today. Oh, great. Would be a great person to host. All about fictions, parallels between fictions and Web3, storytelling, shaping digital technology. Wonderful. Sent him a personalized email. Oh,
it sent you the email. Let's see if it did it.
Okay, so CC, I'm not CC'd on the actual email, but it's no, I'm not on the actual email, so I'm not CC'd on it, but it says I've sent this email to Elliot Pepper, inviting him to be a guest on your podcast. If this works, I would actually lose my mind how funny this is. But it sent the email to him apparently, but it's also sent me the same email just saying, "Hey, this is what I sent to Elliot." Again,
so
sorry,
you're not CC'd on it.
I'm not CC'd on it.
Say it. Say I'm not CC'd on it. Send the
well,
email.
It sent the email to him, so I don't want to flood Elliot's email here.
Yeah, who cares? You don't know Elliot. What is fucking you?
That's the funniest part. This guy Elliot's gonna find me and be like, dude, "Listen, motherfucker, I have 1,800 emails from you."
I've been testing this feature and like not even thinking. Like I'm just like, fuck it. We're just gonna start sending emails.
Oh wait, maybe I am CC'd on this. I think I am CC'd on this with him. Yeah. To Elliot Pepper at elliotpepper.com. Okay. I think it works.
So it worked.
Yeah.
It sent you the email and him?
Yes, correct.
Fuck yeah. There you go.
Let's go. Okay.
Your personal,
that's so sick.
Your personal. Right. We had a little bit of hiccups live. Let's fucking go. But I can tweak them and I'll get it right tomorrow. All right, go to the other agent. Let's see.
Okay, so we had another one, which was niche community infiltration. Infiltration. That's a very aggressive. Okay, what does this do? Identify 5 hyper niche communities. Okay, that share values with my brand. Okay, so it's actually going to go and look in mine. It's not going to go and try to find Solarpunk Reddit threads or biohacking forums, but it will understands like, hey, that's a very niche. And then drafting non-corporate outreach email offering to guest speak, co-host, or AMA. Okay, so for Hunter Orel's brand values, draft personalized outreach emails, let me find first relevant communities that would resonate with your focus on Web3, crypto, gaming, digital culture, and entrepreneurship. A little upset doesn't have football on here.
Ooh,
yeah. No, I'm joking.
So wait, while it does this, let me ask you other questions about other agents that you would use, like knowing that it can research, it knows who you are. What are workflows that like you wish could be automated in your life that I can just literally create the agent for you? Guest speaker outreach, like what else?
Guest speaker outreach. Oh, damn, you're like putting me on the spot here. Like finding developers, finding I think like finding employees and developers is an area but that's like hyper hard because there's like a qualification side to it as well. But yeah, no, that's one that
but it's easy because you can
do that yourself. But like that whole like task of like, all right, I have to go find people who are developing what else?
Yeah, but you can qualify it by like.
I'm like looking through my text messages. Like, what have I been doing recently? I mean, that. What else? What am I trying? I mean, I might not be the best person because right now I'm just like heads down building and working on software.
Yeah,
So,
true.
but like,
Yeah,
the
but I'm
the
thinking about
podcast,
it
like the
from
most frictional part is like the podcast, like getting like the live streams.
booking it.
Yeah, like booking it's hard. I have like we've built out through the company that we're building like an internal system for the live streams being more automated. But that's like a super, super hyper niche thing. But yeah, like discovering people, finding people to like talk to. I think also like more direct to like the world that I work in is like I want to be able to find people that are building exciting things or like who's out there who's like my twin, who's out there doing the similar things to me that I should know about, and that I can go and like learn from, or has already done the path and I can learn from. Like, I think for artists, it's like, hey, I'm a southern rapper who has like a southern twang to me, and I'm trying to do this type of style of rap. And this is the image I'm going for. Who else has done this before? Who's done this? So like, not that I can copy them, but like I want to understand where are they? Are they somebody I should go meet? Or should I collaborate with them? This like discovery of like who's out there is always is one that I think takes a ton of time and is not simple for people to do unless they're like in the trenches of social media and consumption. Yeah. And I know my team's listening. There's definitely some bits in there that like I think on the discovery of like what is happening, that's like hugely frictional for everybody and we should be thinking about.
What about like your Twitter presence? Is any of your Twitter automated and community management?
No, nothing on my Twitter is automated. Community management. Oh wait, hold on. Let me see. What have we missed here? Okay. Oh wow. Oh, okay, so it went
Send emails. Let's fucking go.
It sent info to Yield Guild at it sent info to YGG. It said info at Yield Guild, which is YGG, which is one of I think I love YGG. That's so funny. Blockchain Industry Group, Dallas College Web3 Education.
Wait, so you should have received all of these emails, so you can see. You should be CC'd on all of them.
Each email is personalized while remaining all emails are sent from with UCC'd at. I am not. I think it's misunderstanding CC for at the beginning. It says like it just says CC.
Oh.
And I also don't know because somebody messaged in if you're able to CC. It can send emails using its tool feature, but they weren't sure if you're able to CC. You can send to multiple people, but might not be able to CC or BCC using their email tool. Worth looking into.
Yeah,
but yes, I assume, but I know from the other email, like it literally says my email at the very top of it. So all these people should have gotten it. I'm curious if we get any information,
responses.
any responses. I'll keep everybody up to date.
Yeah, update because bro, that's like the next step. If I start, bro, if I'm from one demo, you get a podcast guest out of it or a partner. Like this is one we're doing guests, but imagine
and this is just two like these were like podcast guests and then like doing AMA or like going to them, like not acquiring them, but going into these other communities. You have so many more, which are merchandising, so merchandise strategy, optimization, funnel analysis. You've got PR, you've got assistance, marketing, touring, A&Rs. Touring, I know, is a huge one. Like, this is not easy. This requires a whole team at CAA to come up with your tour strategy, find venues, and you're giving up. I think touring is what 10 or 25%. It's some insane number that you give up to them. Social research. There's so many that you can basically just use AI to automate or to ping off of for insights, analysis, feedback with highly pinpointed, I guess, like context of like who you are because of that original scrape.
Yeah, original scrape is who you are, and then we're working next on like during the original scrape, also grabbing all your video content so we can make like a video model of you, grabbing your audio, like so that initial scrape of adding that initial artist or creator will just create the base fundamentals of like what becomes the knowledge base, as well as like additional models that you can use to go run campaigns, automate tasks, etc. Like, because in a perfect world, right? Like it has all of your information and is able to spin up content in your style and is able to spin up versions of you. And then you can say, all right, cool, go find me a bunch of brand partnerships that work with my niche, set them up, go create the content to align with it. And then it's all right, cool. Then now that revenue stream is automated for you and you can just check on it.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. I love this, dude. This is so cool. Again, this is mostly tuned to artists, but as you just saw, for somebody like me, there are more and more features being added every day. If this is something that you want to use, if you're listening right now and you're like, hey, I want to check it out, it's recoupable.com. And also, Sydney, I think everybody has your Twitter, that you reach out to him. And I'm sure that if there's like a very specific thing that you're looking for, they can help you out, get that looped in.
Yeah, dude. And let me know if you want any other agents. I want to keep going down this podcasting path.
Yeah, I like, honestly, it's a heavy lift to actually set this up and to have a schedule. Like, I was talking to I would say now the largest technology podcast, talking to one of their team members and understanding like their workflow and how they're structuring it and the time input. And I mean, it's a team of like 8 now, including the hosts, and they're putting, I mean, dozens of hours into this every day. After like they record the daily episode, and then it's okay, we're prepping tomorrow's show, we're prepping the guests, we're looking at the news stories that are coming out, and it's dynamic too. So it's this whole thing up until when they go live. When they click go live, like, yeah, the show's set mostly in hand unless somebody drops or is like, hey, I want to come on. But there's all these like little things that I was like, yeah, but I would be so much cooler if I could just have that done for me. And I open my laptop and I have, boom, like, here's today's agenda and your guests, etc. And I have my input into how that's structured or the quality of who's coming on. And it just happens. Like, that's
Question about, so next steps, like send the email, then we reply to the email. So like that's all set up. I'm thinking like the only thing that's missing, the tools that we need to set up, is like access to your calendar. What calendar do you use? Google?
Yeah.
Yeah, just like calendar access. And then access to what podcast are you podcasting these?
No, I mean they happen on the same way you got in here. There's a live stream link, you hop in, and then it goes out to everything recorded, etc. And then like the back end of this, I would say is pretty hard because there's a file that I have to download, and then I edit in an opening. There's a little bit of like a fade out, and then that gets exported, that gets uploaded to YouTube, it gets uploaded to Spotify, video podcasting. I have to add the title, the thumbnail for those. I have to make a thumbnail. The description has to go in for each of those. That sucks. That is like that workflow is like an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours of my time sometimes. Hate it.
And then, yeah.
I mean, yeah, in theory, this all should be automated, right? Where like all you need to do is open your calendar, see who you have to interview that day, press record, do it, record, have a conversation, and end it, and then come back a week later and be like, how are my metrics doing? Tell me suggestions on how I can make.
Yeah, if AI was also at the same time, because that's also like an area that I take time and it takes effort, is okay, what worked well? What thumbnail do I think converted better if I'm looking at the impressions to views?
Yeah.
Which type of topic worked better, etc. Like that whole flow.
Yeah. Yeah. And like that should all be automated, right? And it's just A/B testing, and it comes back to you with congrats, your engagement's up 5%. I recommend that you talk more about football because people were staying, more engaging during that conversation. And like it just guides you down your path of doing what you love. All right, cool. I'm going to talk more about football, or I'll host more football people, like, and then you end up becoming working for ESPN, and who knew? Oh, thanks AI.
Who knows? I mean, yeah. I mean, there's so many times in my career here that, yeah, if I had automation or I had more people around me doing that, or I had more time to do it, I think it could have changed trajectories, or it could have led to more valuable career paths or plays. Not saying that like what I've accomplished or what I'm doing now isn't like good enough for me, but I think having that context of like, no, like, listen, like that first like football vlog I put out to me was like, cool, I got 125,000 views today. That's pretty crazy. But understand like the context of like, wait, no, you're really onto something. You should like double, triple down on this. But then the next one was like, oh, you only got 8,000 on this. Here's why. The next one got less, and then we went back up to like 15K on the fifth one. It was like, okay, listen, you had a model and a narrative on the first one that really worked for people, and then you shifted to a different vibe, and the style changed a little bit. Like, do this. Like, we're noticing this trend in the data. And it's really easy, I think, on like the backside to look in and be like, here's the trend and where you underperformed, it could have performed better. I think in real time, and for not having to pay like a staff of people to do this, or go to a firm and be like, hey, manage this and be my sounding board, but to just use AI to do that, so many creators would want to work with that. And again, at the end of the day, it's creators that you're trying to help.
Yeah, dude. That's the thing, man. Creators need that because the majority of creators don't have huge teams,
Yeah.
And that it's like it's funny, like the artists that I work with that really always like level up well are the ones that have the right teams around them. And the right teams like are the people that like have high agency, and like they just like get shit done, like, and like know how to navigate, so like, but like there's not like not everybody has that ability. And so like what does the world look like when you put high agency teammates around everybody? Yeah, bro, it's just things are gonna get so crazy.
Yeah, we're just getting started. I feel like I say this every time this whole year, even January when I was having these conversations, I was like, we're just getting started. But every day we are truly walking into a more like an ever expanding room of possibilities. And while we are making progress, that progress just leads to we're earlier than we thought we were yesterday. Man, Sydney, I'm so excited. I hope people that are listening and watching this go check out recoupable.com, connect with Sydney, go check it out. It's something that I'm super excited about for workflow and career and task automation. And yeah, so stoked for you, man. Love
Dude,
it.
I can't wait to come to the beach.
Yes, that is true. Sydney
go.
Swift and I making a beach rendezvous this summer. I'm looking forward to it, my friend.
Yeah, I get to meet your mom in the flesh.
Yes.
That sounded terrible.
You get to meet the fam.
You get to meet the fam.
Yeah. It'll be a good family meeting. It's a family reunion in some sense. And as I said, you favorite people in the entire world, and yeah, glad I could have you on to talk. We'll have to have you on again as the product evolves and more features and more capable come. And obviously, if I get any emails from whether it's Elliot, Gentry, or any of these other people, I will let you know, and I'll make a big fuss about it on the timeline.
Bro, let's fucking go.
Oh my god,
Dude, I appreciate it.
not a problem, man. Everybody, thank you for tuning in to another episode. Hope this was helpful. Again, reach out to Sydney or Recoupable if you're interested. We'll catch you on the next one. Cheers, everybody.